Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Arvin High School here for SSL Soccer. My name is Kyle Wiley. We have the Arvin Bears Chapter Generals. With me is Curtis Stelzer. He is going to be doing the play-by-play tonight. We have Julian Wilson, my main man, behind the camera tonight. Very, very excited. I am the assistant principal at Golden Valley High School. I was going to say the coordinator of school support services, but that has obviously changed throughout the course of this year. Got a good promotion in July to be at a school site, Golden Valley High School, where we are Bulldog strong. I got to make sure and always get that plug in there because I do care about that campus. But tonight we're at Arvin, and I was asked this week, hey, Kyle, you want to go do an Arvin Chapter soccer game? And almost instantaneously I said yes, because of the fact that we have some very, very special talent here tonight. And this campus, as it sits upon the wonderful Bear Mountains in the background, and I know there's a little bit of air quality issues today that we can't see that, but is one of the most picturesque spots in Kern County for football, for soccer, you name it on there. But my main man Curtis is here tonight. You're going to run the play-by-play. You've been doing a lot of stuff this year, from football to basketball to all that stuff. So what are some highlights this year of you kind of noticing your live stream experience in the Kern High Network?
Well, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. Just like you said, I've done a little bit of everything. I'm excited. This will be my first soccer game with Kern High, so that'll be good. I've done a little bit with, obviously, Cal State Bakersfield, and that's been a blast. But if we might be in store after that finish with this JV game. Arvin just won 2-1 literally at the death. I think about 30 seconds left, and they won the game, and I was able to talk with both coaches, and I think you pointed out to start this. I think it's Magana.
Yeah, Jalen Magana.
10 goals, 15 assists. You kidding me?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jalen Magana, probably one of the top three. I was talking with Coach Noah before the game, and I told him Jalen Magana is probably top three talent, pure talent-wise in town. There's a number of guys all the way around, but Jalen Magana, last year I remember on this field, on this pitch, he crossed up a defender and literally fell to the ground like an NBA point guard would in a basketball pickup game at the playground. So it was very, very impressive. You're also going to see another guy who's just lightning quick, lightning athletic, Carlos Norzagaray, who also played receiver. A lot of things going in there, but a lot's been happening in the Kern High Network. I want to talk about that before we get out into the game. We've had a lot of wrestling, a lot of stuff happening, taking place. Great thing. Last week we had the first ever SYC conference championships, where we are looking at the best from each of the leagues in the SYC, the South Yosemite Conference. So the SEYL, Southeast Yosemite League, the South Yosemite League, and the Southwest Yosemite League. Girls squared off. Tomorrow night the guys are going to square off. So it's kind of a very cool format where you take the top wrestlers from each league, each weight class, and then you have your number 4 kind of at large that kind of comes in, who's the best remaining, and then they kind of square off. And the best part about it, each wrestler in each weight class, they have the opportunity to win a guitar, Buck Owens style. We look in there, and it is a really cool thing to look at. That's been the efforts of Stan Green and Javier Valdez, Victoria Valencia, Miguel Garcia, kind of visionaries of how to promote our kids in new and exciting ways.
Well, I've only been here 18, 19 months in Bakersfield, right? And I've learned quickly, obviously, doing some work with Cal. It's amazing, the wrestling program and how good they are. In fact, CSUB just defeated Stanford. Yeah. And they were ranked 22nd in the country. They defeated them on Sunday night. And, and it's not them. It's the high schoolers. And it's a big little deal around Bakersfield, the wrestling, and that's always fun to see.
And you look at the central section as a whole. I mean, number 1 in the state for wrestling right now is Buchanan, and they are right up there in Clovis and all that stuff. So last week on Wednesday night, epic duel between Frontier and BHS at historic Driller Gymnasium. That's number 7 and number 8 in the state. So you're looking at a bunch of teams that fall within the top 10. And then you also look on the girls' end, as it's been the fastest growing sport. Golden Valley at the beginning of January was actually able to defeat 3-time state champion Selma Bears, who are also from the central section. So you've actually come to one of the hodgepodges of wrestling in the central section, where the top talent in the state of California from there. And we had talked about earlier that California, in their history of wrestling, have had 3 4-time state champions, and they all reside in the Central section, one at BHS, one at Clovis, one at Clovis West. So you look at all that in the Central section, it's very crazy to look at. But no wrestling here tonight, and as Julian can get down onto the pitch as we kind of transition away, it is all soccer all the time. And as was mentioned by Curtis, is we have some top talent. We have the Shafter Generals that are coming in here as well that bring their own levels of talent and stuff like that too as well. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes as we get going on there. But first things first, we always got to give our sponsorship plug as we go on there. We got to thank the U.S. Army, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and Motor City, all 3 large financial donors, contributors to the Kern High Network and all things that go on there. I want to get back to this Jalen Magana. Last year, not only was the birth of the Kern High Network, but also the Kern High School District Achieve magazine, a quarterly publication that comes out where we kind of highlight the best of the best for the particular season. And in the winter edition last year, the Achieve magazine had our team of excellence that comprised of the top soccer talents in there. And Jalen Magana ended up being on that team because of the things that he is able to do. 15 assists, 10 goals. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. And talking with Coach Noah, he indicates that not only can he score at any time, but he looks to be the constant showman, get his teammates involved, do all of that, and kind of make sure that it's not just about him, but about getting others involved too as well.
Absolutely, and that's a big part, right? You always want those guys. You need to get your playmakers the ball. And look, it's like that in any sport, right? I mean, look, and the scary thing is for Arvin, at least for me, and talking with Coach Noah with Arvin before is, Norza Garay, just the elite speed that he has, he's really impressed with how he's learned from Magana on making other players better. Yeah. He's really taken notice, or I'm trying to think of the right word there, but he really enjoys making other players better now. And he's like, he loves playing that through ball now, where he didn't have that before. It was just straight up and down, go to goal. And now he's opened his eyes with creativity, and that's always nice to see.
And I think what Coach Noah Weber wants to do is start off the game a little compact, and then all of a sudden, as they are compact, they want to try to open it up and try and get those long through balls to Norza Garay. On the other hand, we got to take a look at Shafter here for a second. One thing about the Shafter Generals that have been brought up is they are a gritty, tough team at 6-9-6 right now. It may not be the record that they desire, but after talking with Coach George Maldonado, I mean, he's got about 4 or 5 4-year varsity players: Juan Espinoza, Brady Gill, Tristan Maldonado, Daniel Torres, Rosario Lopez, all 4-year varsity players. And sometimes when you have, seniors that have been through their lumps that they go through there as a freshman, sophomore, junior, there's a certain amount of maturity that you bring to a team, and they definitely are going to make up for a very gritty, tough competition against the Arvin Bears, who could be favored right now to 9-4-2 record, but nonetheless, they cannot slouch on the Shafter Generals tonight.
Well, and I talked to Coach Maldonado. It was great that both coaches gave me about 10 minutes of their time, so I was very appreciative of that, and it's tough to do. You're thinking of the game, and it was great. And I did ask, after you get the rapport, and, I kind of know a little bit of soccer, I'd say, so we got that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, Coach, what happened in game 1? And he's like, the 5-1. And he's like, it was just final third stuff. He said, but we are playing much better right now, and we should have a good game tonight. So, you know what? You get those seniors. The funny thing is, and you go back and you talk to some people, and we've all played sports. And can you imagine as a freshman in college going back and playing your senior year? How much did you learn in that 1 year? And you almost feel like that as seniors now because, Kyle, these kids are so much more developed and ready to go at this age than we were as seniors. We were still, at least to me, it feels like we were still figuring out sports, even as seniors in high school. And now they're all ready. Well, look at the college quarterbacks. They all start NFL day one, right? So they're so much far advanced and ahead and video. And the confidence
that you have being out there on the pitch underneath the lights. I mean, you are the star of the game and all that stuff too as well. Well, as we have right here, the captains are coming out right now. Curtis is going to take over with the play-by-play. I'll be doing the color stuff. One thing that I do got to make mention right now, Arvin, who historically is red, is donning the specialty black unis tonight.
It's like Nebraska.
It is absolutely. They got that to get on there. And I think, and I was talking to Ralph Gonzalez, who's the athletic director before, when they found out that they were the Kern High Network soccer game of the week, it was all black unis to get out there to make it look sharp. And Julian does approve of those. And you did talk about, you got the red and the white historically of Arvin, but now you got the black out on there. They look slick right out there. They look really good to get them going tonight. So take it away, my man. We're going to get started here in just a second with the Arvin Bears and the Shafter Generals. And if you want to look on a Kern High Net, I want to say one last thing.
Please do.
Go on
I'm
there
sorry.
and apologize to the audience for that awkward pause right there. We can just talk about it. We're out here doing that. It's okay, but
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
This is awesome.
You and I. It's been a while where we look at that. But one thing, if you want to watch this, it's on Facebook Live, or you can just watch it kind of standard on Kern High Network at kernhighnetwork.com. Live here from Arvin High School SSL match between the Arvin Bears and the Shafter Generals, and I'm going to transition it over to you. Total not etiquette right here to have it on there, but we're going right over to you, Curtis, as we get going, as we get started in this SSL soccer match.
So in the first meeting here, thanks, Kyle, I appreciate that. In the first meeting, they were at Shafter in this matchup. Arvin won 5-2. Really good game. Arvin comes in at 9-4-2. The Generals come in at 6-9-6, and Kyle said it. Arvin in the all-black and talking with Coach Weber. Really, really excited. His kids are excited. They're on Kern High Network. It's a big thing. He said they were excited last year. They thought they did a good job, but he said they were really Coach Weber said they were impressed. The kids were, that you and I were sending emails to the coaches trying to get information. They're like, it's so great to have insight, and that's a big thing to me. I want to know. What's going on, and I'm sure I overstepped my bounds a little bit with those coaches, but, you get a little experience, and I'm like, hey, I know what I'm kind of doing a little bit on the field, so Shafter, it will be in the white uniforms, yellow shorts, white socks, and as we said before, the Bears.
Well, we want to do our due diligence in any production that we do out here to make sure that what we do is important. The kids understand how important they are to making this production go. For example, one of the dark horses that I want us to look at tonight, and one of my kind of players, he's the anchor in the back of Arvin's line, is number 5, George Rosales, is the captain, wearing the captain band right there. But he's the communicator, and he makes sure defensively they're doing okay.
Well, and the nice thing, I love that it's on TV.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't have to go all the time, right? The play-by-play, you can see what's happening. We can kind of break down players. That's a nice little through ball there. And they're able to turn on the ball, and that'll get the Bears in right off the bat down the left flank. They'll look to cross it back to the 18, and that's going to one-hop out a little shank, but stays alive. Bears do a good job of keeping them in.
And you see Magana right here, very slick, and
little heavy on the first touch.
As Julian's got the pole right in his way right there as it gets into that corner. We can make adjustments, Julian, if we need to get on there. But nonetheless, you can see that Arvin right away, they're trying to find their playmakers as they're looking right at Magana for those. He's going to touch the ball often.
He will. He and obviously Norza Garay, who I think got down that left flank right off the bat. Nice spin move there by Magana. Taken away by the Generals, and they're still looking to get out of their own end, and now they will break that press, and they're going to come forward for the first time tonight. Break down that right side. Nice move on the outside. And see, this is when my bad eyesight. Nice switch of the field there. Find Maldonado, the coach's son. Nice player, 4-year player there as well on the varsity.
Should be noted, Arvin's coming off a devastating double overtime loss to Cesar Chavez, 4-3, and it was just kind of gut-wrenching and, heartbreaking as they're 6-2 in league right now, and they're trying to solidify that top spot. They lost another overtime, another heartbreaker to Wasco, so both their losses come in overtime. As you see the slick movements, I told you got to watch out for Magana. He has got some movement that he can get by him pretty easily.
You know, I wish I had that skill back in the day. I had one thing, and it was shoot left-footed, and that was it. So nice spin move there by the Generals. Will go forward, and there is the sweeper Rosales shielding off his man. The one thing I want to talk about Rosales, he's the sweeper for Arvin that you mentioned. Yeah. The one thing that, when I was talking to Coach Weber, that he does very well, he counters very well. He reads the game and knows when to go forward. It's not like when he gets the ball, he's going forward. He picks his spot. He'll go once, twice, maybe 3 times, a half at the most, and he'll go forward. So 0-0 here. We're only a couple and a half minutes in. Nice to be back on the air with Kyle.
And as we look, we're going to see what chances, what through balls. As we talked about at the beginning, you got the Arvin Bears coming out, starting out in a 4-4-2. They're going to be a little compact, but they are going to stay compact and try to open it up with the likes of Norzagaray and Magana as they get things going. And as you see, Norzagaray donning number 11, same number he had in football, and he is consistently, one of the tougher opponents to look at here as well. I know we have mixed numbers, but I recognize them when we look on there to get on their stuff.
I appreciate that. See? That's why you're the best in the business.
I don't know about best in the business.
Come on, man.
I just see a kid. I just remember I see the number 11 out here, and good. I know exactly where they're at on there.
Wanted to make my bad joke about Julian battling this pole over here, and it's like the cruise you buy. It's the obstructed view. We got about $100 cheaper on that cruise. We're all right though. Good ball in off the corner, deflects around, and the Generals were able to clear the space, and now the Arvin's going to have to look to get back as they pushed everyone forward in the box. Nice defensive play here by Norzagaray. Great job there on the hustle. That's one of the more dangerous spots off a corner kick is if you're countering off the corner kick and you get everybody pushed in up front, especially when you're pulling those big guys up top or out of the back up front, and then you got forwards at the back, that can be a little dangerous. So Arvin did a good job of getting back defensively, and when you have that elite speed in Norzagaray, you can push forward a little bit. Now the Generals get in. They're going to knock one to the far post, and that's just going to be out of the reach. Can you keep it in? You can't, but it's going to be a throw in deep in Arvin's territory, and they're going to have to work their way out. The one thing Coach Weber did say, his defenders have no problem playing possession and working the ball out of the back. You'll see a lot of teams at this age, they just want to, as the big pet peeve of mine, as parents say on the sidelines, boot it out. But they don't. They try to possess the ball and play out of the back, and they do a good job, and they've already shown that they're comfortable. Look, you see some teams that don't like going all the way back to their sweeper, and you can tell already the Bears have no problem with that.
I'm going to tell you this, Shafter, if I'm Shafter, I'm going to try and get as many shots as I can tonight. Be aggressive. You have nothing to lose, as Arvin is the heavy favorite with the likes of players like Jalen Magana and others, as we're going to see what he's able to do right now.
Great ball outside. Nice ball to the far post just outside, but nice little give and go in the middle of the field by the Bears. Let's get the starting goalkeepers as well. For the Bears, it's Barajas in net, number 30. And then for the Generals, it's number 1, Espinoza, on the goal kick right there.
And time of possession is going to be key, is in any sport that you look at, is how much time is Arvin going to spend in the offensive position, offensive side of the ball. And that is going to be, if they're spending a lot of time, that means Norzagaray and Magana are touching the ball a lot, as they're going to be the top two. They're going to be pushing it forward.
Well, and it's not like club soccer, right, Kyle? It's kind of like you're dealt what you're dealt. And, the cool thing about high school coaches, they really need to adapt, right? They can't just be set with one system. And just from when I got the emails and reading them, at least from what I read, was Coach Weber was really dealt a nice hand with the dynamic players up top, Magana, Norzagaray, right? And then on the other side with Maldonado, nothing bad, but just not as dealt the hand of so many dynamic players. So he's playing a 4-3-1-2, which really means you're playing the 4 flat-back defenders and you're playing the 3 holding mids, and you're really going to counter teams and hope you can steal a goal off the counter.
Absolutely. That is Curtis Stelzer with invaluable insight. Here's Norzagaray right here. Ooh.
Great save by Espinoza. Bears try to go up 1-0. Easily the best chance for both teams so far early in this game. Man, Norzagaray could have.
And I will say this. You saw the Norzagaray speed right there. One thing that he continues to build on and continue to get better at is his ability to finish those plays, especially when he gets by him. That's one thing that he just continues to grow and develop. Not as quite technically sound as you would see in a Magana, but nonetheless, Norzagaray definitely flashes that speed that, as everyone's called it, that elite speed.
And Rosales, the sweeper for the Bears. I'll get right back to that. One moment is that there's a great corner kick played in on a laser, but that deflects wide. But the nice thing about Rosales and the sweeper, as well as the other back, and I'm trying to see that, I think that was Gonzalez right there, they both can throw the ball a long way, so the Generals really need to be careful pushing up on those throw-ins. You're never offsides on a throw-in if you're not familiar with everything with soccer. Some people are new, right? But you're never offsides on the throw-in. Twice the Bears have gotten behind the General defenders on throw-ins. Controlled right here in front of us by the Bears. A little spin move, and they find their man. Nice little possession in small spaces here by Arvin. And now a nice little give and go here. Will it stay in? Keeper stays put, and he's going to get to a nice ball. Way to get to that ball, but it'll end up in the hands of Espinoza, and the Generals will look to counter.
And remember, I talked about that showmanship that Magana has. That spin he put on the ball right there is a very suave, experienced, technically sound move as he was able to deliver a nice ball to his teammate.
Those kids just have so much talent compared to what we had back in the day. It's incredible, and that's just the improvement of U.S. soccer. Yes, I know we are not qualified for the World Cup, but still the talent we have in the U.S. at an advanced level from 20 years ago is just incredible.
But just the overall popularity of soccer has grown exponentially in the United States as kids from all walks of life are familiar with the Messis and the Ronaldos and the Neymars, to name that. And you look at a video game like FIFA, since to really take over, where, you know, when you got Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or some of these primetime athletes that have a vested interest in it, it definitely does help bring popularity to the sport.
Absolutely. So Generals, a little bit of sustained pressure here, but a little miscommunication on that play. That'll go out for a goal kick for the Bears. Well, and now, here's how much better we have gotten, right, in the States, right? Pulisic, overseas, right? Yeah. Just purchased for $50 million by Chelsea. You also have Josh Sargent. He's playing on the top team with Werder Bremen. Don't mean to toot my horn, but he's from St. Louis. But he's on, top club in Germany with Werder Bremen. He's starting. He's producing. And that's quite 18 years old.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Kidding me? So it's just nice to see if we can get, if we can get the U.S. coaching staff to get going and get the right players playing in the right spot. Yes. Yes, Usain Bolt. Yep, he was playing in that Australian league. And
one thing we talk about Kern County soccer in particular, last year was a very special year. We had Miramonte winning a Division IV Valley Championship. You had Independence Girls winning D3. So a lot of good soccer taking place in Kern County.
Oh, not the spot you want to turn the ball over right there, about 30 yards outside of your goal. And the Bears trying to keep the Generals in, and the Generals ready to break the press. And if they can hurry, they got a little 3v3, maybe 4v4 if they hurry. That's what you're looking for. Good job by the Bears getting back defensively here, and a nice slide tackle out on the wing, and that'll allow the Bears to get their shape and get organized at the back. And the Generals probably have no problem taking their time and getting organized as well.
And you look at Lopez and Pimentel and Murillo in the back are able to anchor down that defense for the Arvin Bears to go along with Rosales, who is that staple in the back right there. But if you're Arvin, you want these open spaces so you can have those run-throughs from the likes of Magana and Norzagaray.
And here's Castellanos with the throw. Finds his man, headed back. And this gentleman right here on the ball is smooth. Let me tell you, folks, number 23, Fernando Torres, he's a freshman, and he's playing center mid. I'll tell you something, if you're playing center mid as a freshman, you at the varsity level, and I don't care how big or how small your school is, you have yourself a future in the sport of soccer.
Absolutely, and that was one that Coach Maldonado talked about pregame, is that he started almost every game at just that freshman level. There's a lot to be said about that.
Attempted tackle there, and almost gets through, and just can't get that final touch is Magana.
And you see the speed on display right there, and Shafter did a great job defensively and able to slow that down and thwart any potential goal or shot on goal.
And now, you had said it, time of possession, very important. Obviously, at least to me, it seems like the Bears have probably had about 65% of the possession. But I will say the nice thing, and this is a nice thing if you're Coach Maldonado and if you're a parent of the kids, you know he's teaching your kids to play the right way because they're still trying to possess the ball, right? They're still trying to hold the ball and play it right. They're just not kicking it over the top and seeing if they get somebody fast. I love that they're trying to move the ball, knock it around, find the open man, and that's what you want. Little trip there. They could have called the delay call, and he does call. Oh, he ends up calling the throw. I thought he was going to give the delay foul, and we were going to have a set piece, but it'd be a throw-in for Shafter, who's had a little bit of sustained pressure here in the last 5 to 7 minutes, and they seem like they've really gotten the flow of this game, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you talked about some of those from Torres, who's done a great job, and some of those key components from Maldonado, Cruz, Gill, and Torres have done a good job of applying that pressure on the Arvin defense. But when you got your captain as your defender, usually a lot of good things can happen. And you have Rosales, as I keep talking about time and time again, the unsung hero are those defenders that do all the kind of dirty work in the back to make sure not only the dirty work but communicating and making sure that teammates are lined up. So you could argue that key defender in the back is kind of the quarterback of the team, making sure they know where the ball's at. They're communicating, doing everything they need to do.
Absolutely. And on that note, Sanchez for the Generals. He's one of the center backs, and he's the captain. So that you're exactly right. Those guys really tend to end up running the show, as you're saying, from the very back, and they're communicating with everybody. Nice little spin there, and they're going to be in. Try to play it across top of the 18. They're going to lays it off. I thought he was going to let it go. Good hustle by the keeper, Barajas, and they're going to give a corner kick to Shafter.
I got to say, this slick play, Maldonado and Gill with two nice little passes right there. Perez was trying to finish it off right there, but he was able to get that, that corner right there. So
yeah, I thought he was going to hit it from outside. He had a perfect view. I thought he could have split the defenders on the shot, and then ended up he decided to try and I think he should have hit it. You were even saying it earlier. So they will get in here, and the shot off the short corner deflected away, and the Bears are going to look to break out. And then when they counter with speed with Magana and Norzagaray. Good job by the Generals deflecting that and making the Bears start all over again.
I'm gonna talk about the little things in Magana. If we just look at this last little set right here, he was able to control it with his head into a wide open space for his teammate. Just a little thing that just switches the whole transition, the whole dynamic of the game is to just change possession. And it's the little things, it's the game of inches that we talk about time and time again, the non-deflected passes, the slick movement that you see, but great defense right here by Shafter and able to take it away.
The captain, Sanchez, made a great defensive play there. And now the Generals will look to counter, and they've got numbers. If that ball can get through, but that's going to end up in the hands of Barajas, is a better touch there, and they may have had a little one-on-one with the keeper.
And I like Murillo being able to point exactly where the ball is. Once again, it's those little things where you're helping your keeper out, you're being a good teammate. Those little extra modes of communication end up paying dividends, but makes a team great or what makes a team just average. 23 minutes left to go in this first half. We don't have the time function on our broadcast tonight, so we'll make sure we'll have it on there. But 23 minutes left to go in this first half.
It's been a pretty even battle, as I said about a few minutes ago. Shafter's really feeling, at least to me, that they're getting a little play here. I know Arvin's probably had a better of the chances, but Shafter's had a couple corner kicks now. one dangerous opportunity. I think the kid maybe should have hit a ball rather than play it, but now they're in again, one-on-one. Shot from outside.
Great.
There's going to be a rebound, deflected around, and that's going to be cleared out by the Bears. Good job sticking with it, but a great job by the Generals. A nice shot outside. I think that might have been Cruz that hit that for the Generals.
And you got Enrique Perez is able to clear it at just the last minute, being able to get that out there. Actually, that's going to be number 3, Lopez. Luis Lopez is able to clear that out for the Arvin Bears, but what a blast right there by the Shafter Generals, and really kind of stoned Barajas there for a second because it was coming in hot.
I was about to say, I think there may have been a little knuckle on that shot too. So ball played across, deflected out by the Bears, and here comes the speed of Norza Garay. Can he outrun the defenders? There's 2 of them. Great defensive play, and I think that's Robles for the Generals.
But you're able to see that speed. He almost split that double team. And talking with Coach Weber before the game, he was actually saying that there are sometimes balls that are out there that you think there's no way anyone has any business getting. Norza Garay is able to close the gap with this speed, and it's not only that, it's his conditioning too, where he's able to demonstrate high levels of conditioning that he can get out there and do some pretty amazing things on the pitch.
Well, I was talking to Coach Weber beforehand, and we were talking about the popularity of soccer, you and I up here, and we were talking. I'm like, so Coach, is Norza Garay going to continue on with football? I'm like, I assume he's going to go play football. He's like, I don't know. I think he might stick with soccer. And I'm like, ho, ho, ho.
Well, talking with him is, and I think he's just so raw, but there's a lot you can continue to develop, and I think he may be behind some of that, but one thing you can never teach in any sport is speed.
Hey.
And you look at that, and that's what Norza Garay has. He brings a whole different dynamic that maybe a lot of players don't have.
Well, when I coached at the collegiate level for 3 years, I had a girl that literally had no skill, but she was, every time she stepped on the field, the fastest kid on the field. And I'm like, you stay up top, and I just want you to score goals. And she did. She led our team in goals. I'm like, that's fine. I can find the other 9 something to do. I can't find anyone else that can do what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how it is. I mean, you said it. Speed, you cannot teach it, and I understand the ladder, and it does help a little bit, but it's born. I'm sorry. You are born with that speed. So 0-0 the score. 20 minutes remaining in the first half. It's been an even match. It's nice to see after their first match was 5-2. Coach Maldonado's right. We're going to have a nice little match here tonight. So,
and if the JV game provides an indicator of the varsity game, we're going to have 3 goals in the last 6 minutes. Look
crazy.
at it, especially one goal with about 10 seconds left to go in stoppage time. So I think we're going to see some breakthroughs right here. You're going to start to see Arvin be a little bit more aggressive, as we're going to see some one-on-one opportunities right here with Magana, who once again shows how slick he is in space.
Nice spin there. Norza Garay keeps possession. Little dangerous ball from Magana, but Norza Garay bails him out. He'll keep it, and now they'll deflect it out, but the Bears will keep possession. If I'm not mistaken, that's Lopez. Nice one-touch ball there. Nice touches in small spaces, messy-like for these kids. They'll go long, no one there, and it'll be a goal kick for the Generals. A nice little work there by the Bears. 3 or 4 guys all getting touches on the ball, and you got to know that's what Coach Weber wants.
So I'm going to say that you bring up a Messi, and that's the one thing. It's some of the soccer purists, Messi drives them crazy, and we're looking at coaches that want to talk about you want to do one touch and be organized, and you see Magana with his obvious strong leg. But I think sometimes in soccer, they really, really good teams, when it gets to crunch time, they work on one touches, getting it through, being organized, and being able to be disciplined in your passes.
Give and goes,
things like that, where you're not trying to dribble too much.
Yeah, and it's just your flavor, but most kids can do it nowadays, right? And it depends on what you want. You know, there's the Ronaldo style is I'm going to take you one-on-one and I can beat you and let's isolate. Oh, and there's a steal by the Generals. They're going to look to switch the field, but that sweeper right there, Rosales eats it up, but it's a giveaway, and now the Generals have numbers. They'll swing it wide for the wing mid. He'll get a touch, bring it down, he'll come inside the box, swing it across. That's going to be headed out by Rosales, and can the Bears clear it completely? They do. But the Generals will keep possession, and they'll knock it out, and Shafter will have the throw right in front of the Arvin bench.
One thing I want to say is number 17, Mata, right there. He turned the ball over early, but then he was able to stay with it and have a good little possession for the Shafter Generals as Magana now has the ball.
Norzagaray tried to put him through it, kind of checked up on him, but Magana came back, got it there. Norzagaray with the left foot. He's going to shoot from outside. He'll take his shot, and that'll go wide. Hey, but you know what? The Bears, they're looking to get their opportunities. And I saw in pregame, and I think it was Magana, he was about 35 out, and he absolutely lasered one in the lower corner that didn't get more than 2 feet off the ground. So he and Norzagaray both have that in their game where they can score Gucci goals from the outside.
Yeah, and I think what I do think they want to do is be another 5-10 yards in and get a little bit better shot and be a little bit more patient if I'm Coach.
Oh, misplay there. And the Generals, I have a one-on-one. Keeper stays put, and they'll just put it wide. Ball wouldn't settle down for him. You're on that football field that's really, in this time of year here in Cali where we're at in Bakersfield, fighting for that grass. It might have hit a bad clump, but the ball wouldn't settle down and just hit wide.
And Brady Gill wishes he had that again where he could probably take his time a little bit more. Sometimes when you get those one-on-ones, whether it's a PK or even a shot right here where you're one-on-one with the keeper, you kind of got to take your time and deliver a little bit better shot than that right there.
So number 7 checked in, and the roster that I was sent has Norzagaray, but I think he's been on. So
yeah, well, the thing we look at is I think it's these specialty uniforms that get on there. It could kind of maybe throw this off a little bit more and all that stuff too as well. So we'll make sure we'll get a correct number 7 when we get out there.
Garcia checked off. I do know that. Garcia's giving his wave to the crowd. Good for him. He's got friends in the stands. That was always fun back in the high school days, and high schoolers coming, your friends coming to watch. That's always a fun thing for those kids. And this, Kern High Network, this is just great for them. It really is. And it's not just, look, and here's my thing. For Max Preps, we do a lot of our homework through Max Preps. But those kids going out and seeing stats, and you know what's funny? It's not just for those kids, and it's not for the parents. It's for college coaches. They want to see stuff like that. If you're a college coach and you're going through and you're looking and you see Magana has 10 and 15, right? You're like, oh. So if you're a coach out there watching, you need to get those stats up. Those are huge for coaches at the next level.
And here's Magana with the corner right there as they settle it back to him. And you could see not only if we talk about the elite speed of Norzagaray, we talk about the elite skill of Magana as he's pretty slick with the ball in his hand.
3-on-1 for the Bears, and they'll come the other way. Good hustle back, but they've got their break, and that ball's going to be deflected out. A great play by Barras as he gets a touch on it. And that was Maldonado who's taken down in the box. No call, but they will blow it down for the injury. Nothing dirty. Barras came out, gave up the body trying to get all ball. I don't think the official called the PK. I think he called the stop a play on the injury.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barajas has the attributes of a keeper right there. You want them to be aggressive. You want them to be relentless and have no fear as they come out. You know, what often comes to mind, kind of cliche for Americans, is Tim Howard, what comes to mind. But you saw his relentless pursuit, almost a violent, tough edge about him that gets out there, and that's what you want in a keeper because you got balls that are getting blasted at from left and right, and you want someone that's tough that sticks it in there.
That's right. Him, Casey Keller, those guys were brilliant back in the day, and I'm telling you right now, the Generals are getting their way about them right now. I will say Barajas played that breakaway much better than he did the first one. The first one, he stuck on the line. I feel like he was very lucky that the ball bounced around, the kid couldn't settle it down. This time came out, I'd rather go down with your goalkeeper coming out, being aggressive, cutting down the angle, as we used to say back in our day. That was a big thing. So great job by Barras making up.
Well, you talk about Shafter getting their opportunities. Cruz, Maldonado, Gill, Mata, they've been really pressing the issue right now and trying to make stuff happen. But, they've been falling short, but they are putting the pressure, constant drip on the Arvin Bears.
And then if you want to look at it on the other side, they've had their chances, but you're sitting here going, okay, you got to bury one of them. You keep getting these chances. You can't let good teams stay tied with you in games like this. You got to put one of them away to put some pressure on Arvin, and they have not, and you could easily see Arvin turn around and make this a 1-0 game quickly.
Especially with the ball in that guy's hands right there.
Now, see, that's what's brilliant about Magana right there. That his teammate was behind him. For him to know that he was right there is what's unbelievable, though. Handball, no call. Looked like that Shafter may have got away with one there on the bad hop to touch the hand. Play goes on.
Great one touch right there by the Arvin Bears. When they get dialed in and they do their one touches, especially with the likes of number 3, Luis Lopez, who's pretty slick himself, that was able to push up a little bit because he's usually kind of that center wing position and all that stuff. You can see there's some definite talent on these Arvin Bears. Need to clean some things up, though, a little bit in order to get better shots.
Just under 12 minutes remaining in the first half. My name's Curtis Stelzer alongside Kyle Wiley. It's been too long since I've done a game with Kyle Wiley. This is great. Oh, and there's a giveaway deep in the end. It's going to be turned over. Can the Bears make Shafter pay? They cannot. It's going to be a goal kick. Oh, you cannot give the ball away there, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Jalen, especially when Jalen Magana is lurking right there, and he's looking for a call, maybe a little bit of physicality out of the eyesight of the official. But it's a good no call. You don't want to call it right there. 2-on-1 right there, and sometimes super talent want to try and find his way out of there. And he's going to throw his hands up, of course, and I think it's a good move because you never know. If he does call it, you get a shot right there on the keeper, so PK. So
now we'll flip the script going the other way, and the Bears will have a little bit of possession in the Generals' end. It's really been a game of, possession's not the right word, but basically the Bears had the play for about the first 10 minutes, and then the Generals had it for about 5 to 7. Then it was the Bears, and now it's back to the Generals, and then the Bears have now had a little sustained possession here late in the first half, 10.5 to go. So I am going to ask you a question since you are all-knowing around here.
I am not all-knowing.
You are all-knowing. I'm letting you know that you are. That's what everybody tells me. So the ball played long, and Rosales is there. He tries to clear it out. And they will, but not completely out, as the Generals will try to keep Arvin in. And Arvin gets possession, finds Norzagaray, spins a man, keeps the ball, beats another, comes back to the left foot, plays it over the top for Magana. He's got one-on-one on the outside, has a runner inside. Great ball to the 6-yard box, just out of the reach, and the Generals dodge a bullet there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing, it may not seem like that's a big deal, but that is a perfect ball that Magana just put it on right there, and I believe that's number 19. And we'll make sure we'll get that number. Jesse Pimentel, who's the captain, who I'm going to say this. Sometimes the defenders, Coach Weber was saying this, sometimes his defender feel that if the offense isn't flowing the way they think it should, Pimentel and Rosales will take chances like that and make their runs across the top. Pimentel wants that back because he knows a dime was absolutely dropped on him from Magana. And we get geeked out by seeing special talents that go on there, but that is, especially as Magana is fading to the right and is able to cross it to the middle and really set up Pimentel with an opportunity. But change of possession, Shafter Generals right now looking to make an opportunity. And we talked about Mata a few times tonight. He's been right in the mix, kind of just doing some things, and he's kind of in that left halfback, right halfback position where he he gets in the mix a little bit. You kind of like that, kind of one of those crafty players that goes unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah, you're talking about the 3 center mids, and Coach Maldonado squeezes those 3, those short corner. Now they'll go long. The Generals are over the top and just couldn't get over the top of the ball was number 14, Mr. Cruz, and he just puts it over. But, the special thing about Magana and what you said as well is he put that little bend on the ball to keep it away from the keeper.
Yeah.
If it's an in-swinger, it ends up into the keeper's hands, and it's a game of inches. And Pimentel just couldn't get the final touch, and when he can't, look, the Generals counter on that play, and they get a corner kick about 20 seconds later. And now here come the Bears the other way, still a scoreless game with a little less than 8 minutes remaining, and the Generals have really played
a good game. I'll tell you what, number 14, Brian Cruz, has had his foot on the ball and sometimes his head. He's made a lot of stuff happen for the Shafter Generals, giving them opportunities, just have kind of fallen short, but he's one that has been pressing forward, just a 10th grader.
Spun in and out there, gets inside, and that's a corner kick. Who is that over there?
We got to look at it appears we have number 17, Ramiro Juarez.
Oh, my.
Is able to get in there and do some slick things.
The spin move and then dice 2 kids and just couldn't get that final touch across, but what a move there. And this is what I like. You get that corner kick, let's put it in the mixer, right? You do all that work in a short corner and go bad. It's a great ball, but great hands by Espinoza, the Shafter goalkeeper, and he's going to punt it long and look to counter, and that's going to go just a bit outside, and it'll be a throw-in.
One thing I do want to say is Jalen Magana, superstar, as he's doing all these corners. But one thing you probably know as well as anyone, in high school athletics more than anything, set pieces are critical. So you want to make sure you take your time maybe a little bit more. If you're Magana, that last corner looked a little rush. Allow your teammates to develop something, get the proper spacing that they need. But, nonetheless, when you got a talent like Magana, you sometimes throw, your rules and what you had out the door and just allow them to play.
Nice switch there by the Generals, a shot from outside.
That's Mata again.
Absolutely.
Once again, he's right around the ball all that time. One of those crafty players that goes unnoticed.
Well, I think, Coach Maldonado said we're going to have a good game here, but I think he's probably going to be very happy with this Shafter team and the way they've really played and handled Norza Garay and Magana, and I say that because probably their 2 best chances were about 25, 30 yards out. They both took shots from deep outside. Really nothing close, and the only dangerous one Pimentel couldn't get his foot on. If you're Coach Maldonado after coming off a 5-2 loss, what you're looking for in kids, Kyle, to me, you want them to improve every day.
Yeah.
And look, a matchup a month or 2 ago, they lost 5-2, and it's 0-0, and you're on the road. It's a good result so far after 40 minutes.
Absolutely. And we know this game of soccer, a team can dominate, and have nothing to show for it. And right now, I think this has been pretty evenly matched. I'd probably give a little slight edge to Arvin. But overall, Shafter has had those opportunities, hadn't had the clear shots on goal that Arvin has had. But they've had some opportunities where they played deep into Arvin, Arvin's defense and all that. So.
Well, absolutely. Well, look, Barajas came out, challenged Maldonado on the run. Really good opportunity on the breakaway. Did a great job there. And then they also had a great shot from outside. He had to make the save on, and Arvin cleared the rebound. But, yes, absolutely, Arvin's had more of the, time of possession in the final third. And there's a foul there, no call. Shafters could have went the other way. Can't. They try to switch the field. Arvin can't get it. Can they get it down? Ball's kind of bouncing around, and the Generals get it down, and they give it away once again. Man, you got to keep that possession under 5 minutes left now. This is where it can get dangerous. You do not want to give up a goal in the last 5 minutes, especially as well as you've played. Ball across is perfect. Little missed touch on the first touch. The foul will just go wide, and Shafter thankful that this game is still scoreless, and I think that's Pimentel once again, Kyle.
Well, I'm going to say it's Pimentel once again, but the pass all originates from Jalen Magana right there, where we just kind of laugh at how silly it is and how special of a player he is. Little things like passes we get geeked up about because, honestly, you just don't see that level of skill night in and night out in soccer, not only across Kern County, but in the state of California as well.
And Arvin in that final third, meaning their defensive third, just those flat four defenders just kind of getting stretched out just a little bit here. And this is where those tired legs come in. You've run now for about 37 minutes, and you want to stay compact, especially right now. You want to keep those 4 flat backs and those 3 center backs compact in the middle. If you want to give them the wings, that's fine, and let's get it out, and let's get to have 0-0 at minimum. But look, they clear the ball, you get a foul, and now you get an opportunity to possibly go up 1-0 late in the first half, steal a goal, and it's a completely different game.
3 minutes left to go as we're nearing stoppage time. So let's see. These can be dangerous for Shafter.
Driven in, one hop at the 18, bounces to the 12, cleared out by Arvin, and now to be cleared all the way out. They're going to try and go over the top. Can Norza run it down? He is there, but a nice defensive play once again by Robles, who's played a really nice half at the center back for Coach Maldonado and the Generals.
And I'm just going to say, if there's one team you don't want a quick switch of possession, it's Arvin. And you see exactly, I mean, you think about that. Magana is placing a ball blindly to Norzagaray in a space, not even like a quarterback leading a receiver. He's putting it blindly in a space because he trusts that his guy is way faster than 2 defenders, 1 defender, you name it, that goes out there. So,
and there he is again, Norzagaray on the ball. Loves to play the through ball. Tries, and that won't get through. Is the General still, but give it, I thought it was being given away. It finds its way to Maldonado's feet, and he'll swing the field. And that's, man, this is why I'm kind of bald. And when my right midfielder gets sucked in the middle, I'm like, get to the touchline, stay out wide. And the reason they want to stay out wide, and I don't mean to step on your toes. Look, you want your wing mids to stay wide because those good players, the creators, they'll find you. Stay wide, stretch the field. And the other thing it does, when you stretch the field, it gives more space to the Maganyas, the Norzagarais. And I hate it.
Team's good. Gosh. Teams are great in space. As we near stoppage time right now, the clock is stopped at 2 minutes. And we'll see what a half it's been.
It's been
Arvin's had the control, but not by much.
Both teams have had really good chances. It sounds crazy, but Shafter's had a couple really good opportunities on the doorstep, and Barajas has had to make a couple good saves. He's been more tested than Espinoza, in my opinion. So Shafter and Arvin, second game of the year. So the one question I want to have as we're coming close to the half here is, I'm still learning all the conferences and divisions and regions. So is this a big on the doorstep, shot from outside, blocked. What a save again by Barajas. Third time in the first half. He's kept this game scoreless for Arvin.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, is that Mata right there who's in the mix for Shafter?
Once again,
he's on the rebound. He's trying to get his shot in there, but what a half he's played. How many times have I said that? He's right, or he's in the right spot at the right time, and it looks going to be a corner now instead of the throw-in, which can allow Shafter, as we're going to see, people are getting flushed down. Sanchez is coming down from his defensive position, and we're going to see a set piece to get some of the taller guys in there where they can get ahead on that.
Yeah, this might be the last play of the first half. Surprised they're not pushing more forward. They'll play to the back post. It'll be over the head of everyone. So I know you have
once again, we got to switch. We have no time to talk because you got Norzagaray's speed out there.
It's not fair. So you have league, section, division. Talk to me. How big is this? Is this a rivalry? This is the second time they played this year. I just assume it's a rivalry.
So it kind of is a rivalry. You look at the big rivalry for Shafter is going to be Shafter-Wasco as you look at that. And so that's been one that historically, dating all the way back to the early 1930s when it got into full swing, is where Shafter and Wasco.
Oh,
and
you were just in high school then.
Yeah, okay. Just in high school right there with hair. So we can look at that.
Me too.
Yeah, and so Arvin has been around for a number of years. Let me get my Kern High network. I know we have magazines.
I wasn't meaning to put
you
there.
No, it's not putting it down on there, but they've been around, I think, since the 1940s, I want to believe, since 1947. I don't know why that year comes to mind. But Arvin has been in a wide variety of leagues and all that stuff, too, as well. So Shafter, they've been playing Shafter for a number of years because Shafter was 1927. So there could be a little bit of rivalry that does go on there, too, as well. But Arvin kind of on the outlier. More recently, we have seen with the growth of soccer and the way Miramonte's played. Miramonte and Arvin have been really good matchups, and last year in the semifinals of the Division IV CIF Central section, you did have Arvin and Miramonte play. In a
shot from outside, just over the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, that's number 14, Cruz, is able to get in there.
And we're going to go to a half here
Absolutely.
on the Kern High Network, and we are at Arvin, where the Bears and the Generals are tied at 0 at halftime. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes.
No worries. We're going to actually go to a commercial break real quick, allow us to breathe a little bit. We're live from Arvin High School on the Kern High Network at kernhighnetwork.com or on Facebook at Kern High Network.
Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home, Kern Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you, so what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
California's largest Buick GMC dealer, Motor City, has the best offer on your new professional-grade GMC Sierra. Get up to $7,500 in total savings on the Sierra 2500 or 3500 HD Crew Cab Denali. Or drive away the Sierra half-ton Crew Cab SLT with up to $11,000 in savings. Go online to MotorCityGMC.com for all the details. Welcome to the city, Motor City.
A lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, It's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses. Having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Kern High Network, kernhighnetwork.com on Facebook. Kern High Network. We just took a breath right now. Got a little swig of something right there. Julian is taking a little breath right now, checking his phone. I mean, it was nonstop, just action-packed first half between the Arvin Bears and the Shafter Generals, and it's just been a great time, my friend, seeing you out here again. Some of the highlights that we had last year, and I bring up, kind of looking at our second full season on the Kern High Network. One of the key things that we talked about at the beginning of this broadcast, where you and I kind of first met, was a semifinal game girls basketball, it was Selma High School going to Golden Valley High School, and Golden Valley was able to come out victorious. For the first time in their girls basketball program history, was able to get opportunity to play in Selland Arena. Went to that game where they played Emmanuel. They did fall up short, but nonetheless, what a special opportunity that we were able to do some playoff basketball games, different things of that nature. And
well, you went to Golden Valley. They
Yeah.
won. And you got a job there. I just assume if Arvin pulls this out,
Yeah,
I'll be the athletic director
Yeah,
tomorrow.
absolutely.
I met him. He was a really nice guy.
We got to remember,
you know?
Shafter's part of the Kern High School District too as well. So whoever wins will end up over there too as well.
Right.
But you know, we got to give a shout out to the Arvin administration. Ed Watts, the principal, has done a great job. Stephen Granucci, the AP of instruction, and Robert Moore, who's the AP of administration. And then we look at Christine Miller-Whitwick, who just came on recently as the Dean of Students. For the Shafter Generals, you got Russ Shipley is the principal leading the charge over there. We got Miss Beedling is running. Mary K. Beedling is leading the AP of Instruction. Dave Boyd, AP of Administration. And they did get a new dean, and I apologize for not having that in my notes, but we can look at that. Athletic directors for both schools, very good friends of mine. They do a great job for the student athletes at their respective schools. Ralph Gonzalez at Arvin High School has been around for a while, and he is just committed.
That's who I met earlier today, right?
Really, that's who you met earlier today. Really is helpful, really cares, very excited. We can't see it right now, but brand new scoreboards on the varsity softball, varsity baseball fields. He's excited about that. And I'm going to tell you, I always like to bring up little stories about each school as we kind of talk about last year for me, and it was just a very, very memorable thing that I was able to see some pretty cool things in my first 2 years. But the historic rivalry in California, I will say that. And I've never seen anything like it. And I always encourage people during this week to go to the festivities because there's nothing like it I've ever seen, is the Shafter-Wasco Rivalry Week, especially in football. There's exchange rallies. There's different things on there. But last year for Shafter High, being able to be a part of that rivalry week and kind of tell their story. And after 10 years in football, they finally beat Wasco after a 10-year losing streak. And what that does for a city, what that does for people, it just defines that. And it doesn't matter if you win a state title or a league title. All that matters is if you beat Wasco or you beat Shafter on there. So to be able to be a part of Shafter being in the Kern High School District and see that was something I'll never forget. The elation, what it did for the city. Second thing, if I think we talk about the Arvin Bears, and I was talking to you about this before the game, last year they had a historic run in their baseball program. And I was talking with Ralph Gonzalez. I said, you know what, I'm going to come out, cover this game via Twitter because we hadn't launched into the live stream for baseball yet. Come out there, I come out, get a photographer, and next thing you know, Brandon Seablum is dealing on the mound, and we turn around and say, this guy has not given up a hit yet, and he throws a no-hitter, and a couple of their guys, their number 8 hitter, hits a bomb that goes way out of the park. And so it was just awesome to be able to come out and see a no-hitter and see the elation on his face and write about Coach Eddie Lopez, who was an alum himself that wants to see baseball do well at Arvin. But the other cool thing, too, is being able to come out for their semifinal baseball game and see them be able to go into the Valley Championship game where they went to Rawhide Stadium, minor league affiliate in Visalia, and it was just really, really cool to see these two schools have the success that they well deserve because there's good people at both campuses, good students, good atmosphere, and I just love to celebrate those successes. And the one thing about Shafter and about Arvin is they're on the outskirts of Bakersfield. And so they sometimes may not get that publicity that's out there, but one thing I really like about the vision of Stan Green and really like about what Javier Valdez, Miguel Garcia, Victoria Valencia, the real public information side of the Kern High Network is they want to focus on all of those schools in the Kern High School District to ensure that equity because there's great stuff happening at all schools. And we've been able to get great people, great staff, get you on board here. I saw Julian Wilson, and I bring this up. I saw him at a Stockdale baseball game. We saw our fair share of Stockdale baseball games. I just went up to him and I said, hey, we're launching this thing. I don't know how successful. He remembered that. We're calling it the Kern High Network. we need camera guys. Are you willing to jump on board? He said, hey, I don't know you, but I like you, and we're going to jump on board. I remember exactly what's going on
and
there.
He's still coming out.
And he's still coming out and doing soccer games and doing a wide variety of things. So
well, I clicked with Julian right off the bat. We started talking about Cal State, and he had a daughter there, and now she's over at Texas A&M, and Texas A&M, and she's doing well over there. And I love it. I show up and I see him, and I think it's Ty, and I'm like, man, I got a good crew. It is fun to work here. I love it, man.
So I'm gonna say he says we're awesome, but I'm gonna brag about Julian a little bit more, and that's enough because he's had enough tonight. For those of you who don't know, his daughter finished third or fourth in state. You look at that in the 100 meters and 110-meter hurdles. Aaliyah Wilson, who got all the pub and all the buzz for me in track, I had no idea that they were related till about a few months in there. I tell you, one of the most humble, easygoing, successful families that we look around. And, Julian, it means a lot that you raise your daughter the right way, and she's going to be very successful at University of Washington. We could say that wholeheartedly, man. So back to soccer right here as well. We're going to get started in the
GMC second half.
Absolutely. Right? GMC, Motor City, and Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, United States Army all pitching in to help out with that as well as we get going into the second here.
Just kind of watching halftime, and I feel for Noah. I think last name's Noah Weber, the head coach for Arvin. I feel for him because when you're a head coach, you always just want somebody just to bounce stuff off of, talk with, and it's just him. And it's like, man, it's just got to be so hard. And when I was a head coach at high school and college, I always wanted an assistant. Now, before the season, I'd be like, look, don't be insulted if I don't take your ideas, but you can throw ideas at me all day long. And I might take them, I might not. But it's also nice just to talk it out. And maybe he's something you don't or see something, and let's try that. And, Coach Maldonado, he does have someone over there to bounce a couple things off of, and that's nice to have. So, that's got to be tough, I feel, for Coach Weber. That's for sure.
Sometimes in soccer and in any sport that you have, and when you're a head coach, you have this vision, this direction of your program, and finding that key assistant that's enough of the yang to your yin when you're going on there to be able to balance you out, to have those ideas, allow you to be intense, allow you to speak candidly sometimes when it's needed, but allow a different set of eyes, a different lens to get out there. But building that trust factor between a head coach and assistant coach takes time and takes all that in there.
It does.
And
here comes Shafter. They got a chance from outside. Shot. Sprawling save by Barajas, and he's able to hold on. No rebound given up on that one.
And it looks like we got a new shot right there. That's number 20 right there. Nelson Hernandez is able to get a shot in there. And, Coach Maldonado did talk about that Nelson Hernandez is an 11th grader and had received strong contributions from him. And, think about that. You haven't played a whole half, but what about the mental fortitude that if you have your opportunity and get your shot in? And that was a great shot right there, but Barajas simply made a good keep right there. So
absolutely. And he held on and gave up a couple rebounds in the first half, and he got the sticky gloves on here to start the second half, made the save, and this game stays scoreless here early in the second half. It's been a good game.
I'm not trying to speak too ahead of time, but this side of the field is dangerous for Arvin. Every game that I've ever watched, I'm just saying this is a phenomenon, and I'm just saying it right now, is every game that I've watched, when they're going north is when they score. So I'm not putting all my chips in that. I'm just saying it's happened every time I watch them. They only score going north. I don't know if they're immune to that, to the south side, but they score their goals.
Long throw from Rosales is perfect right to the 12, and that's going to be headed out by the general. Sorry about that, Kyle. I knew Rosales was giving the old heave on that. Man, that's just as good as a corner kick. That ball is on a line, but no bear on the end of it.
So we got our sweeper Rosales all the way in the back defending, doing what he does. But when there's a throw-in, Coach Weber indicated it is all him all the time.
Oh,
my God.
Magana
and that
from
is
about
a
28
goal
yards
right there.
Absolutely laces one. It gets over the top of Espinoza and into the upper right-hand corner, and the Bears will take a 1-0 lead with we're about 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the second half, and right off the bat, because they're going north, Magana makes it 1-0.
I got to tell you, Jalen Magana with an absolute blast. And what a way to start this second half for the Arvin Bears as they're going to get going.
Oh, and here come the Generals on the counter, and the Bears are able to clear. But Shafter keeps them in. Good job there. They're going to try and go down the left flank one more time, but that time one of the defenders for Arvin steals it. And now that'll come out. Norzagaray swings to the left, and now they'll try and go down the line for Magana, who's feeling it right now. And that one goal always gives you a little bit of confidence, but a nice defensive play there by Robles. He's going to try and go down the line. That'll be knocked out of bounds by, I think it was Montoya. And I don't even want to start on the movie, which I think is hilarious. But anyway. So 1-0 to score. Bears looking for their 10th win of the year on the goal by Magana. His 11th of the year. And it was an absolute Austin Powers-like laser into the upper corner. He's about 26, 27 yards out. And you can see the confidence that's brought right off the bat to Arvin. Goals do that. Nice touch there. Montoya over the top for Norzagaray. He'll get one touch into the 6-yard box. Tries to keep it in, knocks it, but it's going to go out for a corner, which is the right call. That ball was not all the way out. And it will be a corner kick, and Norzagaray went flying over the track where they're probably doing the long jump over there, and he's okay. And if we start talking track and field, Julian's going to hop on here and take over.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I do want to say about Norzagaray, and we've talked about it, and it's an honest criticism, as he's raw and he's developing and he's looking at his soccer game, sometimes he gets a little opportunities, a ton for the Bears, as Martin Garcia almost got in there. But what I want to say about Norzagaray, he gets a little too fast rather than slowing down, but he's used to going one speed. It's fast, and sometimes he just needs to collect himself, still go fast, but able to slow down his body and collect himself and deliver a better shot.
I got a story to go with that. Nice long throw into the 6-yard box, and the Generals dodge another bullet. Can they clear? They can't. Bears will keep him in. They'll look to swing it far side. They'll play it in the middle for Magana, right where he scored. He's going to try and go over to the top. They stay on side. Norzagaray just can't get it down. So I played 9 years professional indoor soccer. I had one coach, that all he said to me all year was, Stelzer, just keep going. And I was just like Norzagaray. I was left-footed, could shoot, and was fast, but I had no touch. And drove everybody on my team and the other team crazy. And that year, I finished 6th in the league in points and was second team all-league. And because of him, and that was the only year I did that. And that's because he understood. Just let him go. It was like they called me the Energizer Bunny. He did. I never quit, and he spun me up, and he didn't say a bad word to me. He's like, I don't care. I'll take the good with the bad.
But the real question I have, were you as fast as Norzagaray?
I don't know how fast he is. I ran a 4.4 40. That was my 40.
He's pretty quick, too.
Yeah,
he's around
fly.
there. Yeah,
I may not look like it anymore, but I was probably smaller than him back in the day. My rookie year, I was 5'6", 1 1/4. So I was tiny. I know. I didn't have to pull all that weight back in the day. And the Generals get behind the defense. Can they settle it down once again? Shafter cannot get that ball to settle down on the field, and it's hopping around, and they cannot get a good shot on goal on another one-on-one with the keeper.
Once again, that's Nelson Hernandez right there. He is given a strong contribution all year, so
lots of depth. Both teams senior-laden, that's for sure. Very heavy on the seniors, and I know for sure Arvin has 17 seniors. So Coach Weber, this is kind of the year for this squad to really make a run deep in this tournament. Now let's be realistic, and you know a lot, Kyle. Give me an idea where. I mean, they win a league, they win a section, division. How far realistically could they possibly go?
So if we're talking about Arvin, is they can click at the right time, and they could be one of those dark horse contenders. They got to go in D4. You see Lindsay is usually in there. They're in the mix. Miramonte is in there, and they got Jonathan Alvarenga, who's the top goal scorer, video game-like numbers last year, 30-plus goals. You know, all that. He is coming back. So there's going to be a lot. I think they can make a deep run, at least in the central section, to look at. they got to clean some of those things up. They got to find someone else that can step up to the plate and be a playmaker like Magana, as we see that right there. So,
corner kick here for the Generals, looking for the equalizer. Ball played in, swung inside, headed but not out. Can the Generals keep them in? They do. And there's a battle right outside the box. Could have been a call either way for a foul, but it's a good no call by the official. And now all of a sudden, the Bears break out. They're going to come the other way and counter. They'll go the long way for Norza Garay. Can he get to it? He cannot. As Espinoza comes out, makes the save, and a nice quick outlet. Perfect on the outlet, right to the feet of Lopez. Stolen by the Bears, right at midfield. And now they'll possess. They'll look to switch it. Nice 40-yard ball in the air, swings the field. You got to love that, and that is why your wingers stay wide, right there. Nice ball played in. I think that's Magana again or Norza Garay. I couldn't see the number. I think that's Norza Garay. It is. Nice ball in. He loves playing that little ball. That left footer with elite speed also likes to show his touch, and he may be raw, but he continues to learn the game. Tell you what, he could go play somewhere, Kyle. He coached at the NAIA level, and he can play at many levels.
He's got some boogie with him, that's for sure.
Well, speed, you can't teach it. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, if I'm coaching, right, and you got that raw kid, even if he's young as a freshman in college, I'm bringing him in the last 15 minutes each half when everybody's a little tired, and that's making him even faster against those back line. I'm telling you. There's something for that kid at the collegiate level if he wants to play. And depending on where he goes, he could start all 4 years with that kind of speed. It's always nice to see. So the Generals throw on the far side right in front of their bench.
But I will tell you this, and I'm going to bring you're the soccer guy, I'm the football guy. He has opportunities in two sports to be able to do some things special. In football, he was used kind of as a slot hybrid receiver.
Yellow card given out. Sorry to interrupt. The yellow card was just now given, and that's because there was a throw-in for the Generals, and all of a sudden, number 2, Kevin Cruz, kicked the ball away, which I think that is the exact right call by the official. It drives me crazy. If it's not your ball, let it go. And Gerardo Gonzalez will check in for Arvin. All right, back to Norza Garay. He's got 2 opportunities here.
Okay, so I do want to say 2 things. Norza Garay, he has opportunity. You call it the Tyreek Hill effect, but he's got enough of something out there where he's too dynamic of an athlete. And I do want to get back to the yellow card that was just called right there. And I bring it up, and I know the officials got a tough thing going on. Hasn't been too chippy, hasn't been too crazy. It is a league game that's going on there. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, that. But does it, and I asked this, Costa now, does it warrant a true yellow that goes on there? Because in the central section that we go out there, those yellow cards add up. Could you give the warning? It hasn't been a consistent thing that goes on there. You want to maintain control of this, but does it warrant a yellow? In my honest opinion, I'd rather have a talk to first and then allow him to correct the behavior before going straight to a yellow, which essentially penalizes the kid over something like that. I have a tough time dealing with. I could be wrong, though.
Look,
so
hey, let's play devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
It's the rule, and if I'm Coach Maldonado, and I could have had a throw going down the line and I have a kid breaking out, well, you took that away from me by kicking it over to the stands. So there's both sides. To me, if it's in the rules, look, I was the kid getting the yellow card for the stupid stuff like that.
Is it consistently called? That's what I want to know. That's what we got to look at, is find that measures of consistency, because we've seen that a few times.
Oh, nice little play there on the Meg. Absolutely. It's got to be called by all the officials in every game, because you're exactly right. Oh, nice touch in the box. But that's a great play by that sweeper Rosales to clear it out, and hopefully he's okay. He's going to stay down for a sec, and he's hurt. I don't think that's Rosales. Is that Pimentel?
I think it could be Pimentel or Barita, number 18.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
I think it's 19, and we can look at it.
That's
Pimentel.
The captain's man.
And he's a captain. I mean, think about your 2 defenders, Pimentel and Rosales, out there. As they're going to walk in, there has to be someone that checks in for him, because now the coach is coming in right now.
And the players are calling for the athletic trainer to come on, not just the coach. And that's never a good sign because Pimentel really hasn't moved. I mean, he was rolling a little bit, but this is never a good sign when you have the other players calling over. And I'm trying to see what I don't know if you can get that, Julian, but being married to the head athletic trainer at CSUB, I might have a little experience on what they're checking here, whether it's the knee or the ankle. I'm hoping he was just kind of stepped on, but the reaction that he has as well as his teammates, it seems like it could be.
And this sounds weird, but you almost rather it be an ankle than a knee because an ankle you can recover back off of just a little bit quicker as they attend to that. Looks like he's getting up, though, and it looks like he's going to make his way off, and it's going to be a little bit of something right now. It looks like he's dragging that. I can't tell if it's his left or anything like that. Nonetheless, it is going to be a throw-in by the Generals as they make their way off. Live on the Kern High Network, KernHighNetwork.com, or on Facebook. Got a lot of different mediums. We got Instagram, Kern High Network. We got Twitter, Kern High Network. We got a number of different mediums where we'd like to showcase.
On Twitter, are we KHSD Athletics?
KHSD Athletics, because of the fact back in the day it was just putting it on there and
in the box, dangerous opportunity blocked by the Bears, but the Generals will keep the possession.
And we've talked about this a number of times. That Nelson Hernandez is right around the ball every single time, just like we talked about Brian Cruz early on. Nelson Hernandez has had his fair share of opportunities in this half.
Shafter's really had a couple opportunities here in the last 5 minutes or so. We'll have a ton of injury time at the end of the game. The clock did not stop during an injury, so we will have plenty of injury time. So you will hear Kyle and I tell you how much time's left with 25 minutes left in the second half, but there's going to be probably 5 or 6 minutes of injury time at minimum. So 1-0 the score on a brilliant goal by Magana.
Absolutely blasted.
In the 43rd minute. And Pimentel, being one of the 4-year captains, it's going to be a big loss for Arvin here, that's for sure. Nice ball on the far side.
Nelson
the
Hernandez
Generals
once
equalize.
again.
Yep, right on cue. He'll cut inside. A nice defensive play there by one of the Arvin defenders.
Like his game. I mean, think about it. Didn't do much in the first half. Comes out in the second half, and his teammates have a lot of trust in his abilities to get out there and score goals. Looking at it, he's trying to score goals.
That urgency really picked up after you get down 1-0, right? Ball played in the air, and that'll be snagged by Barajas, and he will allow his team to get his shape, and now he'll go long with the punt.
Barajas
it's a good
quietly had a very good game at the keeper.
He has made 3, 4, 5 brilliant saves, 2 or 3 of them on the doorstep, and allowed a couple rebounds, but his teammates bailed him out. A couple of those were coming in and had a little knuckle to it. So a throw-in a dangerous spot, and you got to think Rosales will come up and take it.
Absolutely. He's going out there right now as Norza-Garay is waiting for him.
And this is the right thing to do, and he needs to take his time and let Norza-Garay get in that box. He's not. He's going to throw it in there. You got to wait till those guys flood that box. Take your time. You're not under a shot clock.
And we talked about that in the corner kicks and the throw-ins. Get the set pieces going. Allow them to organize a little bit and not be in a hurry to get it in there. Allow your guys to get settled.
They're in there now. Low throw right at the start of the 6-yard box. He'll play it right back to Rosales. He's going to clip one in, but a little high. Got under it a little bit. And Shafter is going to be able to try and clear it out, as that is going to be a yellow card dangerous play. He reached in the pocket. He kept it in there, but they
don't see a yellow card coming out yet.
Which he shouldn't. I didn't think he should have. I was surprised he was going to the pocket. I mean, he came straight across, and is that number 6, Martin Garcia, who got kicked, it looked like right across the collarbone. But you know what? He was just trying to clear it out. It wasn't anything dangerous, and Garcia came from behind his shoulder, right play. But a dangerous situation here. What are we looking at, Kyle? About 35 yards?
I'm going to tell you, Magana may be going upper right V.
Shot from outside. It's going to hit the bar and go over, and they're going to say the keeper did not touch that.
Norza-Garay with that lefty, messy blast. We call that goofy foot, right, when we get it out there. Maybe that's just surfing, but nonetheless, that lefty blast coming in there by Norzagaray.
Wow.
Definitely see some talent. That's the thing. When he gets settled and he kicks and he's able to control that speed in conjunction with his skill set, he's dangerous, but he's still got to work on that finishing, being able to truly finish when he scores.
Well, see, to me, and this is my first time here and seeing these teams play, but just watching Arvin, and the reason I want to know, I'm still learning all the high school, and I got other commitments announcing that I do, and not just the high school level. But with this team, I see a kid up top in Magana who can create and makes everybody better. Norzagaray, who no one probably in the state can run with at the soccer level.
Yeah.
Obviously, football, different story.
Yeah.
But that, and then you have an absolute killer at the back in Rosales, who is also dangerous when he comes forward to make a throw and a corner kick. That's the kind of...
And then I'll say this, Barajas. So you put him at the keeper, and he's able to, as he's proved tonight, to be pretty tough. But you kind of you almost draw a line right up the middle, right? I mean, you have someone in the middle at the keeper and someone up top is able to do the thing.
What a through ball that is. Sorry, Kyle. Get right
worries.
back to that. They'll step across, and that'll be deflected out, but it will stay with the Generals. They're going to try and get down a line and be touched out.
Kind of quiet this half has been Cruz, as we see he almost had his opportunities and chances right here. But we talk about this all the time in every sport, right up the middle. You build it up through the middle. In baseball, you build it up catcher, pitcher, shortstop, second base, center field, right? And then in baseball, you build it right up through the middle. You go quarterback, middle linebacker, safety. It's just there's a way that you build these teams up. And in soccer is pretty much the same way. You see that forward, you got a sweeper in the back, you got a keeper, you got a center mid, all of that stuff from the center on out.
Well, and a couple things here. And there's a nice ball to Norzagaray. He's down on the wing, one-on-one. Has help if he wants it, but he'll just take the corner kick that they'll give him, and the Bears are like, thank you very much, we'll take that. But a couple things. Number one, they need Pimentel to be okay.
Yeah,
he's that
absolutely.
4-year captain stopper right in front of Rosales. He would be a huge loss, okay? But if I'm a coach, I'm just coming out and watching, I'm loving what I have, and I can build around them. And even if I had to have to adjust on how I play, and if I need to defend with 8, here's the corner kick, and it's driven in at the 6-yard block, and that's going to be finished. Great ball.
Absolutely.
And is that Rosales on the end of it? It is. On the great corner kick by Magana. So Magana's got a goal and assist, and the sweeper from the back comes up. And let me tell you, it wasn't on the header. Nice, smooth finish on the inside of the right foot, just places it inside. And the Bears have doubled up Shafter 2-0.
And you got to look at Magana. I think that was 2 inches off the ground right there on that corner kick.
Driven in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Driven in. But I think Coach Weber, he's got something to build on here, and if you need to change up, just a touch away from possibly breaking in one-on-one once again, and the Bears are able to clear the danger. But this Arvin team's really built to possibly do some damage in this tournament, this state tournament. I'm assuming that's
it goes CIF, so a CIF Central section, and it goes there, and then it goes because Northern California and Southern California, they actually go at different times in their soccer. So the furthest that you can advance, it goes to regionals. It's a regional championship, and Bakersfield's only had one team that's ever won a regional championship, and that is the South High Rebels right down the road. So it is one thing to look at. So they can make a CIF run, do all that stuff, and it's good news that we're able to see Pimentel is able to make it to the sidelines after maybe getting a little bit of treatment from.
So it's great to see Pimentel back, and right as he's coming back to the bench, there is going to be a foul inside the box. It's going to be an indirect kick, and I, watching Pimentel come off the golf cart, I was looking for the 7-iron down there. He's brought back in, and he's okay. I don't know if he'll get back in with a 2-0 lead. If you're Coach Weber, you're probably not putting him back in, but it is a dangerous situation, and this absolutely could get the Generals back in this game real quick. 17-17 remaining, in the second half, there's the touch, and it's a misplay there. Those indirects can always be tricky with timing. Played across, but cleared out by the Bears, and it'll be a corner kick for the Generals. A disappointed on the execution if you're Coach Maldonado.
That's not what they wanted to have right there.
You want to get a shot. You're inside the box. Your angle's pretty good. You just want to touch in a shot. Look, Magana and Norza-Garai did it down here from about 28, 29 yards out. Magana just touched it. Norza-Garai hit a missile. And they just off on timing there were the Generals. Corner kick's going to be driven in at the 6-yard box, headed out. It'll go back to Shafter. Can they keep it in? Bears will at least get it out. Maybe not all the way. Generals run it down, try to play the wing. They do not give. They're trying to draw a little trip there, and it's going to go out for a throw for the Bears. 2-0 the score. We will have plenty of injury time at the end of the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of go back, it's crippling because Shafter has really played a solid game, but you have a special athlete, a special player. Oh, here we go, number 26.
Robles. He's done some great work at the back, and now he'll push forward on the counterattack, but nice defensive play by the defender for the Bears. But Shafter, they have numbers forward. Right now, Arvin just has one player forward. That's Magana. So they got 10 in the box. Nice long throw in and be headed wide. Good job by Barajas knowing his line. He knew it was wide all the way. And it's going to be a goal kick for Arvin, looking to go 10-4-2 on the year with a 2-0 lead. They're all getting ready for league play.
Well, we're in the middle of league play, so now they'll be 7-2 in league play, which is big, coming off that double overtime loss to Cesar Chavez. So they'll go Central Section, then after that, like I said, the regional that goes in there. But
well, after tonight, Generals have one game left, and that's against Wasco, and that'll happen on the 4th of February. For the Bears, they'll have 3 games left. They're at Wasco, and then they'll have McFarland and Taft on back-to-back nights here at home on the 4th and the 5th. And then they'll get into playoff play.
Well, it depends. We look at that. Shafter's got to finish off with some strong ones. Certain times there's guidelines that schools do have about having a 500 record to get into playoffs, 500 league record, 500 against. Ooh.
Nice touch there by Norza-Garai on the header to Magana. Great job by Espinoza coming off his line to keep this game at 2-0. So that's good to know. So you need to be above 500.
Just depends on how a school site views it. You know, if you're 500 overall, 500 in league, if you're 500 in, against divisional opponents that you'll see in the playoffs, that's one thing. So they kind of have that guidelines because you obviously don't want a 4-6 team, or I'll say it's 2-8 team that goes into playoffs and they're going against a top seed just to get trounced. They're on the road and all that stuff, so a lot of factors that go into it to look at it. So, but a team like Arvin who finishes strong, it's also key to them is because it looks like they'll go to playoffs, but they need to have as strong a finish as they can so they get that higher seed. And especially with a player that everyone in the Valley knows about, Magana. Everyone in the Valley does know about Norza-Garai. He doesn't fly under the radar because they know that there's someone really fast on Arvin that helps him out.
So 2-0 the score, 13:20 remaining in the second half. It was 0-0 at half. About 2.5 minutes in, Magana made it 1-0. And then Magana on the corner kick to Rosales made it 2-0. That was about 5 minutes ago. But you're exactly right. Shafter, if you're Coach Maldonado, I said it before, you always want those kids to get better. And his team's really gotten better since, a month or two ago when they lost to this same team 5-2 at home. Definitely more organized as well. And, hey, look, you're playing with a freshman as a center mid. He's learning every game.
Great ball right there.
Yes, it is. On the split to Magana. Can he get down the line? He'll cut inside. Thought about going. I was thinking he was going to cut for the corner. He goes far post.
But even a great
misses.
ball is like, here, Julia making a sound right here. That ball is on a dime. That's I think sometimes it's almost too perfect, and it throws people off like, oh, my gosh, the ball's right here. So they fall over. But unbelievable, his ability to place the ball in a spot for his teammates to be successful.
Well, I think the defender thought he was going to try and cross it, knock it across, and it was going to go out for a corner, but he cut it straight back 180 degrees, stopped on a dime, and then got his head up, looked, and found the runner coming from the backside and played it far post, and that's special. You're exactly right. Vision like that, and, man, that's tough to teach, let me tell you. And not everybody has it.
Yep.
It's incredible. Oh, he's going to bring that back. Now, see, this is my pet peeve. That kid was 3 feet away from that spot of where the foul called. They should let them turn, and he wasn't even 3 feet away.
But it is a rule. It's in the rule book. Right?
Yeah, it was.
Got to get you back on that right
good.
there. I picked up on it right there.
You should.
Because if I'm Arvin, I want to stop it.
You're exactly
like I
right.
said, is the consistency that we go on there.
Yep.
There are some things, and I guess the better officials, and we can have – I mean, these become these philosophical debates about sports, and I think the one thing, there's the spirit of the law, there's the letter of the law, and you just hope that the officials are doing the fair, right thing that goes in there, what's best for kids to go on there. And so it's just tough sometimes when you have these gray situations that get out there.
Nice pullback there by Perez, and they'll go the other way, and here comes Shafter looking to cut this lead in half. Nice ball inside. Perez going to try and beat his man. Can he keep it in? Just a little outside, a little hard on the touch. We're down to 10:40 remaining, and we're going to have a couple substitutions for Arvin. You got to wonder, with a 2-0 lead, 10 minutes left, and you've already seen one of your captains get hurt, are you going to take, Norza Garay, going to take Magana off? On that note, Norza Garay comes off. He will sub out along with Martin Garcia. Magana will stay on.
I'll say this about Martin Garcia. Flies under the radar, but he does a lot of the small things right, and you got to appreciate that about a player like Martin Garcia, one of those cogs, one of those extra players that I know that Coach Weber is going to lean on when we get into playoffs is the stars are going to show up, but who's going to be that special role player that's going to come to fruition?
Absolutely. He plays that center mid well for Coach Weber. So the Generals gain possession, almost give it away. Can they keep it? Ball just kind of battling around, and they're going to say it's the Bears' throw. That ball come back, and when that left mid for the Generals, throws it farther. And if you're Coach Maldonado, you're like, hey, you're wasting our time, not theirs. This is an extra 30 seconds that gets to wind off the clock because you wanted that throw and it wasn't yours. Down the line on the throw. The Bears will possess. On the far side of the field, they'll look to go inside. Nice ball there. Substitute just came on, just couldn't get it under control, but the ball bounces to Magana. That ball always finds him.
Yeah. I'll say this, if I'm Arvin, is I'm going to do long counter passes back and forth, wear down Shafter, make them run around because they're going to be pressing right now, and this is where conditioning and shape really comes in to fruition for both teams, but really still be aggressive if I'm Arvin.
There's Robles with a ball over the top. That's a good ball. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No worries. I just think this is where your condition comes in there. You talk about a long ball that George Rosales is able to defend, but I'm still uneasy with the 2-possession game. When it becomes 3-possession in soccer, it starts to separate it more and more. But there's Rosales again, just in the right spot at the right time.
There's going to be a foul right there. We're going to have a set piece in a dangerous spot about 27 yards out in a dangerous situation. And you got to think Shafter will throw the house into the box on this one. Who cares if you lose 2-0, you lose 4-0. At least you give yourself a chance with 8 minutes left. Get everybody in that box.
As they bring Sanchez up, the captain, the defender.
And here comes Robles as well. This kid running into the box, number 26 for Shafter, he's really impressed me. He's done a good job at that center back position. He's been under the gun all night with Magana and Norza Garay, and he ran with Norza Garay for about 50 yards at one point.
And here's Brady Gill right here, 4-year varsity player for the Shafter Generals, is going on the free kick, is going to get in here and see if he can do that. But once again, Shafter, you got to look for those
It's going to be knocked out by Barajas twice. He'll knock it out of there. Can't get his hands on it to hold it, but he's able to keep it out.
And this is where Jalen Magana is absolutely deadly. He's going to turn on a different level, cross someone up, get by.
Two guys.
We've seen this right here. He is just so – the transition that you see right here.
And that's how you run the counterattack.
Unbelievable.
That's how you switch the field, right? You find that guy, and he's able to break down the line, beat two guys, get it down here, and now that'll allow Rosales to take that slow jog.
And it was the same exact play where last year we saw Magana do a little cross-up, do all that stuff on a transition just like that. So that's what makes Arvin so deadly is Jalen Magana. We talk about the speed, the elite speed of Norzagrai. Jalen Magana has some speed of his own that you have to contend with, but speed and control of the ball at the same time makes him very, very deadly.
What a ball from Rosales. Little in-swinger there. It's headed out, and that'll go out for a goal kick. Man, Rosales has impressed me. Magana, Norzagrai, and then you said it. You're filling in. You got Garcia and Soto in that center mid. Pimentel, we're hoping he's okay. He looked like he might have been walking okay. He's a big-time stopper. Telling you, folks, everybody watch out for this Arvin team. You have those kind of elements that you can't coach that Coach Weber has. You got elite speed. You have somebody with vision and creativity in Magana, and then you have a solid back line with Pimentel and Rosales sweeping everything up. And as Kyle said, to go along with Barajas, who we just saw about 2 minutes ago make two great saves on the doorstep, they got a little, ingredients for some success here to go a long way. And it's funny, now that I've announced them, like, I'll do a game here, a game there, and when I announce them, now I'm watching. I'm like, okay, how far is this team going?
Yeah.
So, shot from outside, that'll go out for a goal kick.
I will say this, and Arvin has faced some adversity. 2 overtime losses to Wasp. Their only 2 league losses are overtime losses, 1 in double overtime. And to go through those in league is vital. In my belief, is vital as you move forward through playoffs. Is you're able to face some of those adverse situations.
So Luis Macedo will check on for Magana. Now here's the one other thing that Arvin has going in their favor: 17 seniors, and that is a look,
huge,
isn't it?
Huge,
right? Because
huge.
Those guys know when they lose, their careers are over. And that you can't coach, and that want and desire is completely different when you're a senior, when you're instead of a junior or sophomore or freshman. It's just another level, and obviously we experience that, and it's like, man, you cry. When you're a senior, you're crying, and the juniors and the sophomores, freshmen look at it like, what are you crying about? And it's like, okay, come see me next year in 2 years, right? So it's another level, and when you have 17 of those kids in it for the same goal, that's another thing.
And 17 of those kids who last year made it to the semifinals, and so that's key to look at. So they have faced some things and got a taste of it, and they probably want more, and they got to click at the right time. They're in a tough league. They split with Cesar Chavez. They won one, they lost one. And now they got to try and get it back, and they got to go against the likes of Wasco and all that. But if they can get extra contributions,
they'll defeat 3 guys, and he roofs it. Oh, nice little fancy footwork in between 3 Shafter Generals.
That's number 22, and I wish we had a name on this, and I don't know if it's the uniforms that are changed on there too as well. But number 22, and he did a little wave to the fans and all that stuff too as well.
There's something there what he did with the fans. But that footwork that he did right there, and then to roof it, all we need is a program, because I think he probably goes about 6'2". He is a tall kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easily the tallest on the field. That's the one thing that's changed from my days. I had coaches that were always looking for the size and all that. And now, with soccer, it's a lot of little guys, and they're quick and good footwork. That's what's most important. Any size, that ball get in the hands of Espinoza. Doesn't matter your size, you can go play. And that's the nice thing about Messi. He's really proven to the world it doesn't matter how tall you are. Ball played over the top. Bears try to keep it in, can't go out of play. So it's 3-0 here with 2:20 remaining in the second half. We have a goal by Magana, a goal by Rosales, and a goal by number 22. Yes, first name 20, last name 2.
That's how we're rolling with it.
That's
right.
right. So, ball played in, good defensive play there. And Arvin's going to be able to get out of danger, but Shafter steals the outlet, and it'll bounce around, and they're able to clear the score. And now if you're Coach Weber, you're like, okay, Barajas deserves his shutout. Guys, get back and make sure he gets this, because this is Barajas and Rosales, Pimentel, Lopez, Murillo. They all work at that back line. Look, those midfielders and those forwards, they can get back and help here in the last 2 minutes of this game. We got an injured Bear on the ground, and we're going to have a quick substitution. Trying to see. I think it might be Lopez who might be limping off. And just for the record, the All Blacks, those are pretty sharp boys. You can wear those in the winter here in Bakersfield. You don't want to wear those in the summer or late spring or early fall. You don't want to wear those All Blacks. Nice ball played in top of the box. Bears wanted an offsides. He was not, and that one will go for 3, and we're tied. And, yes, if you don't know my sarcasm yet, I'm sorry. So that field goal, and it's 3-0 to score. So getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday this week.
Oh, you're bringing that up. Come on.
Patriots-Rams.
Come on, man.
It's a big one. What? It's a big one. You got to talk about it. Ball played out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Generals. So why the hatred of the Super Bowl? I know Julian was giving it to you a little bit. What's up?
I'm a 49er fan.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some
You
hatred
shouldn't be upset. You have so many of them. Come on. Let the other part of the league play.
And there's so much more.
Brady.
There's so much more that I want to have on there. So,
hey, the Patriots and the Rams have a quarterback that knows how to run out of bounds without tearing something. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Come on.
Oh,
man.
so sad. He's really got a future if he can stay healthy, man. Garoppolo's a player, man. And he's a good GM. I was really glad he cut that guy, on a Saturday night, Sunday morning, and that stuff in the hotel down in Tampa. Lynch,
Yeah.
he demands respect, and they're going to do something. It's nice to see they're going to get back. Oh, nice slide tackle there in the midfield. We are into injury time. 3-0 score here. And unless there's the major miracle, not the minor miracle, Arvin will improve to 10-4-2 on the year. Shafter will fall to 6-10-6. So 10-4-2 for Arvin Bears. And
sorry, I was just texting my main man, Miguel Garcia, who is going to be putting these replays on Twitter.
Miguel. Miguel's awesome.
Great guy.
Love working with him. He's a good time. I haven't worked with a bad crew yet. Julie and I always get a big smile. What is it? Julie and me, you, and we did that volleyball game. Is it Todd?
Yeah, Todd Bentley.
Oh, I love working with Bentley. He's a good cat. I worked with him a few times. And Kevin,
could be another one right here.
Yeah, he's
could be offside. Number 22.
He came back on, though. He came back on. He's got to play the wing. He's on.
Number 22, please forgive us not having the correct name on there. We'll make sure we'll get it.
But we need to explain to the fans why. It's because of the special unis offside.
Special unis, alternate unis that go on there.
And they got them and not specifically for this game, but it's a big part of it. And, not all – if it would have just been me, I would have been wrong all night long. And I wouldn't have known Norzagaray was number 11.
Well, I know Norzagaray number 11 because that's his number in football and all that stuff. So
sure.
We're able to get all those things on there. So
nice ball of the wing there. They'll be able to turn and go the other way. The Bears trying to get inside, stolen by the Generals. And they'll look to counter, looking to break the shot out if they can. No quitting Shafter. Then he's offsides too, isn't he? Oh, he stayed on. Good job. Cut inside, right-footed shot deflected, and it'll roll right into the hands of Barajas, and that may be all she wrote.
Yeah, there's going to be a long kick right here. And I think the ref is going to blow this dead that goes in there. Should be.
Well, we did have the Pimentel injury that had a couple minutes, but you want everybody to get out of here healthy, and you're at this last part of the game. Throw in on the far side for the Bears. Try to bring it down. Most of the subs are in for Arvin. Oh, stolen there. Tried to dribble on the far side. Generals can counter if they hurry. Good recovery there by the Arvin defender. And the Bears will possess. Oh, try to get tricky. That'll get you in trouble with Coach. I don't care what time of the game, what the score. And there's a Meg. That'll drive you crazy. Oh, going to get away with that one. They do.
Once again, the Pimentel injury driving this extended stoppage time to look at. Do want to thank Arvin High School. Ralph Gonzalez did a great job of setting everything up, and that's going to be it, folks. It's going to be 3-0. The Arvin Bears take down the Shafter Generals in the South Sequoia League soccer match that we look on. Pay attention to the Arvin Bears as they drive through this. Curtis, my main man, I do appreciate you coming out here and doing all this stuff. Julian, my other main man behind the scenes, always does that great work behind the scenes. One thing we got to look about tonight is the Arvin Bears that were controlling a majority of this, Curtis, and who is the one player that you could say is your Tony's Pizza player of the match tonight as you look on it? I think there's one obvious one for me, but it's near and dear and partial, and sometimes when you see greatness, and I can go out and say that, and I want you to think about that, but the way Jalen Magana, it wasn't just his assist or his goal, but what Jalen's able to do, passing the ball and doing those little things, is a definite testament to what he's able to accomplish.
Well, the goal 2.5 minutes into the second half of a 0-0 game, that changes everything. That brings urgency to a team that probably was looking to probably come in and steal the game 1-0. That's number one. So obviously that's a key. But I will say, Norza Garay and him putting the pressure on the defense all night long, and any time they'd go long, whoever it was from, was a big deal. I will say, I think the one I was most impressed with is Rosales, the way he reads the game defensively, the way he can go forward. The goal he finishes in the 6-yard box on the ball across from your guy Magana was a brilliant finish. That's a forward-type finish that he scores as a sweeper. And then last but not least, if it's a 1-0 game, my player of the game is Barajas.
Yeah.
He was brilliant net. He made 5 or 6 saves, a couple of them on one-on-ones. But obviously, player of the game, you get a goal and assist. How do you not give it to Magana?
Jalen Magana, absolutely did. And I got a thumbs up from Julian over here, probably saying the same thing, giving 2 thumbs up. Well, guys, I really do appreciate all that you guys do for the Kern High Network, what you do for student athletes, because once again, what drives the Kern High Network and the Kern High School District is success for all of our students. And so we're out here at Arvin truly enjoying this. Tomorrow night, SYC Boys Conference Championship Wrestling. You are going to see the Southwest Yosemite League, the South Yosemite League, the Southeast Yosemite League. You're going to see a wide variety of wrestlers that are out there. One thing that's very interesting about that, you have Trent Tracy, who is the reigning state champion at 170 pounds, is going to be in action. Only wrestled about 9 times this year, dealt with some injuries and the flu early on in the season. So he's going to be out there, and the cool thing about it, guys, they're playing for a guitar. And you look at it, it is an awesome thing to look at. Great. And I'm going to tell you this, not only they play for a guitar that's got each weight class, that you went on there, but they get a singlet, and the singlet has a guitar kind of designed all over it. It's really cool to look at. The fascinating things, and I'm going to tell you, it's through the contributions of supporters throughout, from Kern Schools Federal Credit Union to United States Army to Motor City GMC. Those financial things allow us to purchase awesome and have vision and drive and do all that stuff too as well. So it's been great. For Curtis Stelzer, for Julian Wilson, I'm Kyle Wiley. Thanks for joining us on the Kern High Network. Make sure you tune in on Facebook and you look at Instagram and you look at Twitter for all of the goals that were on there, including that awesome blast by Jalen Magana to get it going, who is our Tony's Pizza player of the match. Have a good night and drive home safe.